Well, hello. Today, I'm going to read you a book. It's called The Tooth Fairy and Al Ratoncito Perez, written by Jane Cadwallader and Gustavo Mazzali. The Tooth Fairy had been busy all night. There was just one more house to visit. It was a big house on a corner. There is the house, thought the Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy opened the window and whoosh! She flew into the bedroom. She saw a little girl asleep in the bed. Good, thought the Tooth Fairy. Whoosh! The Tooth Fairy flew under the pillow. She was looking for a tooth. The Tooth Fairy found a tooth. She began to pull and pull and pull. But what a surprise! The tooth was stuck. Suddenly, what a surprise! A mouse! Who are you? Asked the Tooth Fairy. But the mouse just spoke mumbo-jumbo. Give me the tooth, please, said the Tooth Fairy. But the mouse just spoke more mumbo-jumbo. What are you doing here? Asked the Tooth Fairy. But the mouse just spoke more and more mumbo-jumbo. The Tooth Fairy drew a picture of the mouse. And the mouse drew a picture of the Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy flew out of the window with the picture of the mouse. I'm going to find out who this tooth-stealing mouse is, thought the Tooth Fairy. She was very surprised and a little angry. The Tooth Fairy went to see the Christmas Fairy. Do you know this tooth-stealing mouse? Asked the Tooth Fairy. No, sorry, said the Christmas Fairy. Ask the flower fairies. They live in the garden. Maybe they will know him. The Tooth Fairy went to see the flower fairies. Do you know who this tooth-stealing mouse? Asked the Tooth Fairy. No. Sorry, said the flower fairies. Ask the mermaids. Mermaids travel a lot. Maybe they know him. The Tooth Fairy went to see the mermaids. Do you know this tooth-stealing mouse? Asked the Tooth Fairy. The mermaids laughed. That's Ratoncito Perez. He does the same job as you do, but for children who speak Spanish. Oh, said the Tooth Fairy. She looked at her list. The little girl who lived in the house on the corner was called Natalia Kennedy Caballero. She must speak English and Spanish. The Tooth Fairy went back to the house on the corner. She flew under the pillow and sat down to wait for Ratoncito Perez. Now I understand, thought the Tooth Fairy. She was smiling. Suddenly, Ratoncito Perez climbed under the pillow. The Tooth Fairy smiled. Hello, Ratoncito Perez, she said. Ratoncito Perez smiled too. Hola, Tooth Fairy, he said. They were both happy to find a new friend and to share their job. And they agreed that from now on, they would take it in turns to leave a coin for the kids who could speak both English and Spanish. And that is what happens. As for Natalia, she was the very first one. So the next morning, the girl looked, and she got 2 coins. And that's the end of the story.